So hello there and welcome to another Go Wild Outdoors. I'm in a local country park this time. There's no camping this time, there's no cooking. I'm just going to have a look at some kit, some tarps. We're going to look at some basic configurations that I use. I mean, they're a very versatile bit of kit and there's a million and one ways to set up a tarp. So we're just going to have a look at the types of tarp that I use and the setups that I use when I'm out and about for my hammock or for my ground camps. So like I say, I'm in a local country park today. Acres of woodland to play in. I've got a little quiet corner somewhere. I'm not going to be bothered by idiots and dog walkers and things like that. So it is really quite good. And the beauty of this place is it's literally 2 miles away from my home. So it's like no time at all to get here. And it is really quite good. Would I camp here? Probably not. It's a little bit too public. There's too many idiots about, so I don't think I would actually camp here. But coming and doing some videos like this and spending some time with you viewers, it's an ideal place to be, and it's local, which is a win-win. So that's great. So I'll bring you back in a bit and we'll have a look at some kit and we'll get set up and things. I've got the dogs with us, so you'll probably see them running in and out of shot as well. Say hi to them in the comments, please do. That's Maisie and Lolly. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm going to bring you back in a bit and we'll get set up, okay? So, like I said, I'm in the local country park. Plenty of idiots about. It is the school holidays, and this is what we get. Kids just come, bag full of beers, box of matches, light a fire, and just leave their rubbish around. And it's people like this that spoil it for people like you and me, people that want to come. We're serious about what we do, and you know, whatever happened to leave no trace. It would have taken 2 minutes to pick this rubbish up and scatter the ashes and cover it over. So I'm going to sort this out before I do anything else. So if you bear with us, I'm going to get rid of this ash, cover it over, pick the rubbish up, take that home with us, and just try and leave it as it was, as I would like to find it if I was going to come and use this space as well. Right, so there we go. That's the mess tidied up. It took me all of what, 5 minutes just to get rid of some ash, some burnt sticks, cover the area over and leave no trace. You know, this is the difference between sort of fly camping and wild camping. It's the fly campers are giving the wild campers a bad name. However, on the plus side, they did leave me a box of firelighters, so I'm going to put them in my rucksack. I'm going to take them home. I'll get some use from them on my next camp, or just store them with my kit. Quick and easy way to light a fire, and it was free, courtesy of the idiots. Okay, so here's my tarp of choice for today, by DD Hammocks. This is the 3x3 tarp. I've got 2 or 3 of these. I've got a 4x4 as well, which is great for bigger setups. This one's brand new, it's never been out of its packet. Now I do need to say at this point, I'm in no way affiliated with DD Hammocks. This stuff, all of the kit I'm using, I have bought myself. It hasn't been given for promotional purposes or anything like this. Although DD, if you are watching, freebies are always welcome. But no, I bought this. I do believe in DD kit. My hammocks and my tarps are all DD. It's good gear, very reasonably priced as well, and it's normally next day delivery when you order from their website. I'll put a link to the website in the description. There you go. So this is the DD 3x3, 3x3 meters, that is. This one's in olive green. It does come a range of colours. It comes in DD's own multicam, comes in olive green, coyote brown, I think there's a black one, a blue one and an orange one, I think, but check on their website and choose the colour from that. So it's made of 190T polyester, which is PU coated, so it does have a coating on the back for extra waterproofing. It comes with 4 guy ropes and 4 pegs. The pegs that come with it, they're just cheap aluminium shepherd's crook pegs. I've replaced mine with just some lightweight pegs, just for ease and because I like those pegs as well. Now these tarps all come with 19 attachment points, so you've got 4 round each side and 3 across the middle, so that allows for some that allows for lots of options when it comes to setting up and using different tarp configurations and things like that. Sorry, just watching the dog rolling in the leaves, having a living our best life there. Lol. Right, so yeah, so 19 attachment points, so that gives you loads of scope for different ways to set up and different configurations. Like I said earlier, I'm just going to be doing my favorite configuration is the one I use the most, but you know, if you do have a tarp, go out, experiment. I'm sure there are configurations that you might use that might suit you better for what you do. Okay, but you do you, I'll do me. Okay, this is what I do, and this is what I use. Okay, now the setups I use are mainly from a ridgeline. So we've got a ridgeline, a couple of prusik knots. I'll go through that again with you if you want me to. We'll set up a ridgeline, a couple of prusiks to suspend it. The two main configurations are for hammocks, and then we'll do 2 or 3 that I use when I'm ground camping, like camping on the ground, and use a tarp as a tent or a covering. Okay, cool. Right, so I'll get a ridgeline up, and then I'll bring you back and we'll have a look at the ways to set this up. Okay. Okay, so tarp is hanging like some washing on the line. I'm now gonna set some guy lines and guy it out to the configuration that we need. Now, if you're not so worried about weight, if you're not a gram counter, you know, lightweight hiker, that kind of thing, I'm not. I always camp not far from my car, so I can pretty much carry what I want into the woods and things like that. I've got some of these to try out. Now, these are for the guy ropes. It's a length of cordage, a couple of carabiners, and a ratchet unit. So you would just clip one end onto your tarp. There's your peg end. Okay, and you can tighten your guys using that ratchet, so you can lengthen or shorten the guy to tighten it up. Then there's a little button in there, and you can press the button that releases the ratchet, and you can slacken it back off again. I've got these. I think they're on Temu or Amazon or something. They were pennies. They were dirt cheap. I'm going to try them out now and see how they go. Like I say, you know, for the sake of a few extra grams in your backpack, saves a load of messing around with guy lines and things, especially when we're setting up different configurations of tarps or adjusting the configuration that we've got. These make it quicker and easy. Wow, easy as that. So there we go, there's the apex tarpaulin. Okay, nice and easy. All guide out on the corners using those fantastic ratchet straps. So if I want to tighten or slacken, we can do so just like that. Now this one I've cheated, okay, didn't need a peg, just tied that to a tree. Plenty of room in there, so if I've got my hammock under there, or I can sit under there, shelter from the wind, from the sun, from the rain, whatever. Dogs prefer to sit in the sun than sit under the tarp, which is fine. So there we go. Now this is particularly good if it's going to be heavy rain or if it's windy. It gives you a flat barrier. Okay. We're going to look at a triangular configuration or a diamond configuration in a minute. That's better for heavy rain rather than wind because it is, as you'll see, a bit more open on the sides. Now this one as well, if I wanted to, okay, if let's say I've got a campfire down over here somewhere, for example, I want to lie in my hammock and watch the campfire, I can slacken these guys off and I can lift the front of the tarp with a couple of sticks which I've found lying around, and that opens up the front of the tarp and gives me a bit of a canopy. If there's no rain forecast, etc., it's a really nice way to sit under the tarp. So there's some dead wood lying around. I'm going to see if I can find a couple of branches or a couple of sticks, and we'll raise the front of this tarp and we'll have a look at it that way. Okay. We'll do the same on this side. Slacken the guy line off. Take my piece of convenient stick. There. Tighten up the guy. Just like that. How about that? So as you can see, that raises the front of the tarp. I'm sitting under here now. I can see you. I can see the fire. And I can always drop it down again if it starts to rain or if I want to close it in for the night. Just slacken them off, take the sticks out, and then tighten the guys up so it looks like it does at the back here. So this is quite a good setup. Again, if you're not sleeping, you can just sit under it. I could set up a mat here and lie under it if I wanted to. Set the hammock up. I could even have a small tent under here and it will give me some protection above my tent if it's going to be really stormy. If it does get particularly stormy or it's windy, I would drop these down and give yourself some protection from the wind. Okay? Okay. Isn't that good, Maze? Do you like that? Do you like that, Maisie? Okay. Right, let's try a different setup then. So here is the diagonal tarp. So all I've done is I've just taken the square tarp, turned it by 90 degrees. Or was it 45 degrees? Okay, I've just got it suspended there on the ridge line by the corners, and then it's guyed out from the corners, so it gives you triangular coverage either side. On a 3x3 tarp, it's about 4¼ meters across the top, so you're getting a longer coverage. Okay, the downside is you're not getting full coverage on the side, just triangular. So this type of tarp setup would be ideal for a day like today. It's warm, it's sunny, there's very little wind. And we can lie under it, we can sit under it. Ideal for a hammock because you've got a longer length underneath from which to sit. Perfect. Okay, Not so good in the wind, like I say, because you haven't got full coverage on the sides to shelter you from the wind blowing through. But again, like I say, on a day like today, it's warm, it's sunny. If it was to rain, I've got plenty of coverage there from the rain, and it'll be a nice place to be. So that is the diamond setup there of my tarp. I can also, like I did with the square, I can lift up the front with a stick. I'll do that in a moment. That'll open the front and give me an open aspect to sit under, enjoy the campfire, enjoy the company, etc. So what I'll do is I'll set that up now. I'll put a piece of branch in the front there. We'll raise that front and we'll have a look at that. Okay. So I'm just going to release the ratchet and slacken off this guy line. Take my bit of branch, which fortunately has a bit of a V in the front, which is quite handy, so I can just rest that in the V. That'll go in. Come on. There we go. And then tighten up the ratchet again. Just like that. So this now opens up the front of the tarp. So when we're sitting in there now, gives me an open aspect. Look at that. Oh yeah, comes the dog. Come on, Lord, coming in. So that's the triangular setup. Again, it's a lot more open at the front because of the triangular setup. But it does give you a lot more coverage in terms of rainproofing. So if it was to rain, you've got a lot more coverage. And remember as well, on a 3x3 top, across that diagonal, you've got just about 4¼ meters on the diagonal, so you've got a much longer coverage as well. So if you were sitting under a hammock in here or something like that, you've got a lot more coverage above you. Brilliant. Okay, right, well, the next one. Okay, so this is the apex setup with the tarp, which is the same as it was set up higher for the hammock. I've used 3 pegs each side rather than just at the corners. There's no guy lines to tension, it's just pegged straight down. So I've lowered the ridge line, and we've got a bit of a tent set up here. 3 meters long, so there's loads of room to get in there. Me and my kit can sleep under there quite happily. So that's it, that's the apex setup. Just like we did before, if I wanted to, I could take my bits of stick and some guy lines. We can raise the front flap up, and I can give myself an open aspect. In fact, let's do it. All I've done here is just taken that apex configuration as I did earlier. Okay, I've just added a couple of sticks, a couple of guy lines, and then that's a lot more open now. Somewhere to sit under, I can lie under. That gives me an open aspect. So I've got my campfire out here, got my bedding set up inside there. Amazing. There is another configuration. It's more of a C-shaped, so, and that will incorporate a bit of a ground sheet as well. So what I'll do is I'll bring you back in a moment. I'll just redo this. So this setup here, we've just gone along the edge of the tarp rather than the centre across the ridge line. We've moved the centre down to the bottom and pegged that out, and then the rest of the tarp we've then folded in, and then that gives me a bit of a ground sheet for me and Maisie to enjoy. It's a bit more open. Obviously you want to pitch this so the wind's blowing from the back, from behind. Got your campfire there. Again, we've got 3 meters length here, so there's loads of room for me and my gear and the dog. So here's another configuration. I use this one if I'm ground camping. It just gives me a bit of extra ground sheet. I get my sleep mat, my sleeping bag, etc. on there, and we're good to go. If the weather does turn unexpectedly, as the British weather tends to do, okay, it would take 2 or 3 minutes just to flip it over, ridge across the centre and go back to the apex. Hello. Right, so that wraps up another Go Wild Outdoors. I hope you've enjoyed looking at some of these tarp configurations. I hope you've been able to take something away that you might use on your adventures. As I said earlier, there's countless configurations for tarp setups. I'd be here all day if I wanted to do them all, and in fact I don't think I could fit every tarp config into a single video. These are just the ones that I do for my hammock and my ground camping. Again, you know, you do you choose what suits you, but take these as basic building blocks and build from these. You might find a tweak here, a tweak there, a bit of extra ground sheet, a different setup that might suit you better. Well, that's fine. Again, that works for you. This is what works for me. There's no camping today, there's no cooking today. I think I've got a pot noodle in my bag. I'm going to boil some water and enjoy that, and the dogs have got some chews for lunch. Next time though, we'll be camping. We're in the woods again in a few days. I've got a lovely new recipe I want to try. I think I might try a tent rather than a hammock for a change. We'll see. I suppose it just all depends how I feel on the day. So until then, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, okay? And I'll put links etc in the description to the DD website and anything else that I've included today. But again, thanks for watching. All the best now. Bye bye.